Hey guys, my name is Matsumo, and today we've learned that Ubisoft is going to be making some changes to Rainbow Six Siege. The first one, that I actually think needed to happen a long time ago, is that Nomad is getting a nerf. So as you guys all probably know, her gadget is completely silent when you activate it. You put it on a wall, no defender's gonna know it's there unless they actually physically saw her place it on said wall. Well, now it's going to make a low beeping noise. Now, the thing about it is that it is very quiet. It doesn't make a very loud audible sound. You're not gonna be able to hear this across the map, but if you are taking it slow, you are going to hear this chirp. It's not very loud. Now, what I like about this, though, is that it's finally going to give defenders that little bit information that they can hopefully use to avoid those kinds of situations. I cannot tell you how many times I went for a flank thinking that it was the smart idea. I didn't hear the Nomad use her gadget. I was a little bit away from there. And then, of course, I get promptly thrown to the ground. Literally, everything is taken out of my control, and I get promptly taken out after that. It's incredibly frustrating. And so, while you may not still be able to do anything about it, the gadget, because it is so small, it can hug right against the wall. There's really no way you can actually peek around to take it out with your primary weapon. At least you don't actually go into said hallway or through the doorway to leave yourself in that vulnerable position. What's also really nice about this is that if you are playing as a roamer operator, many of them have access to an impact nade, that this is actually going to give you ways to deal with the gadget itself. Before, you didn't know it was there. Now, of course, you do. Throw that impact nade, and while, of course, it's going to make a lot of noise, so people are going to know you're nearby, at least you're able to take care of it and then hopefully get the flank promptly after that. All in all, though, I absolutely think that this is the right direction for Nomad, and honestly, this probably should have been the way that she worked when she was first introduced into Rainbow Six Siege. You'll still get punished if you're too aggressive as a roamer or defender. If you're running around too quickly, you're not going to notice it, but as long as you're taking it slow, you're finally going to have that information, and so I think that this is a great adjustment to Nomad. Now, one change I was not expecting Ubisoft to be testing is they're going to be making some adjustments to Ying, and more specifically, they're going to be giving her a nerf. Right now, the way that her gadget works is that as soon as you click the button to throw it, it will, of course, fly out into a room. As soon as it hits an object, it will activate and start to fling the flashes all over the place. If you want it to be on a delayed timer because you want it to roll on the ground, maybe go through a drone hole or enter into the room before it actually activates, you have to hold down the button for a short period of time. And so what Ubisoft is changing, or at least testing right now, is that they're flipping that dynamic. If you want your gadget to be on a delay, now all you do is click the button and then throw it into the room. If you want it to activate as soon as it hits the ground, you have to hold down the button and then throw it on in. Now, the reason why I say that this is a small nerf is that essentially this makes it so that Ying can't throw all three of her gadget into a room and all of them activate at essentially the exact same time. This can be really difficult for defenders to actually counter this because there's really no way they can run away from that. And so by introducing this kind of a system, not only are you going to have to hold down the button, which leaves you a bit more vulnerable because of course anyone could round the corner while you're doing that and take you out, but on top of that, if you only just quickly tap the button and throw it on in, that's going to let everyone in the room, give them a lot more opportunity to actually move away or even shoot out the gadget. I don't think people realize that if you're quick enough, you can actually take out the gadget while it's rolling on the ground. And so all in all, I actually think that this is probably the appropriate change. I do know that Ubisoft said that they have plans on reworking Ying, and I would be a bit surprised if this is the actual rework. I think this might be more of a band-aid fix to try to alleviate some of the frustrations when you do a go against her. Overall, though, I can see why they made this adjustment. I don't think it's going to have that much of a dramatic impact on Ying players. I still think they're going to be very effective because Ying requires a lot of skill and finesse. Those players already know how to use her properly. It is just going to make her a little less effective in some situations, or at least that's kind of what it seems like. Now, one change that I'm really excited that Ubisoft is testing right now is that they're trying to fix crouch spamming. I'm sure you guys are all very aware of this tactic. Someone will constantly spam their crouch button so that they make themselves a harder target. And so what Ubisoft is doing to try to resolve this problem is that now if you constantly spam your crouch button, your character will just kind of wiggle slightly up and down, kind of like what they did with the leaning left and right. They just made it so that your character slightly bobbles. Your head head does move ever so slightly, but it's practically insignificant and nowhere near what it used to be on the live servers right now. And so I'm sure this will take some time to get used to. I do believe that this is going to be an amazing change for Rainbow Six Siege. This really was something that was taking away from why I enjoyed the game, and while I still loved it, when you do go against those players that are constantly using this tactic, it really did detract from the overall experience, and so I cannot wait for this to be finally added to the live servers. And then finally, I wanted to mention really quickly a bug fix, because it's been around for quite some time, is that Ubisoft has fixed the drone jumping sound effect that could be heard from an idle drone. I'm sure you guys have noticed this while roaming around on defense. You'll hear a drone jump off to your left. You'll notice that a drone is just on the ground, no one's actually using it, and then it will make the sound effect again. This makes it very easy to pinpoint their exact location and then promptly take them out. As an offensive player, to have your drone get dispatched that way, especially when you're trying to be sneaky about it, you had it in a really clever spot where normally no one would be looking, to have it get taken out is pretty disappointing. And so I'm glad they were finally able to resolve this issue. Overall though, I really do like these changes. It is worth mentioning that this is all experimental. They are testing this out on the technical test server, and so it doesn't 100% guarantee that all of them are going to go live, but I gotta admit, they all seem reasonable. It seems like a decent direction for the operators that are getting these changes, and so I'm 100% on board with them. Let me know what you guys think about all these adjustments though. Do you agree with the nerf to Nomad? Do you think that that is going to be warranted? Do you think that this is too much of a nerf to Ying? How do you think that they are going to be going about reworking Ying? Let me know down below in the comments. But yeah guys, that is about it for today's short little update video. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, have a good one and take it easy.